I'm sure you've heard repeatedly that excessive use of the internet can have negative impacts on young people. But what I think you may not have seen is a scientific evidence to support that claim. And that's what I intend to talk to you a bit about, because there's a study that looked at 237 young people between the ages of 10 and 19. And what they found in that study is particularly interesting. So they scanned the brains of these young people. Now, these are young people who had been previously diagnosed. So doctors had declared them as people who were struggling from internet addiction. And by internet addiction, basically, what they're saying is people who find it difficult or who cannot stop themselves from being online, be it social media, gaming, or whatever. So this 237 young people had previously been diagnosed with internet addiction. And so what they did was to scan their brains while they were at rest and while they were trying to complete a task. And what they found is that there's a challenge with the connection between the different regions of the brain, something scientists refer to as functional connectivity. And the behavior that displays is them struggling with managing relationships, keeping relationships, and things like social interactions. They struggle with social interactions. And in some instances, there could be, challenge with sleeping or change in eating patterns. But all of these things have been traced back to some form of addiction to the internet, which then affects the development of the brain. And this adolescent age, as I'm sure you would know, is a very vital age in terms of development of young people. And so, what can you, as a parent or as a young person, do to help yourself? Now, the first thing I would recommend is the understanding that this is an addiction is the first place to start. Because if you don't have that understanding, there's this temptation to think you can just tell them to stop and they would stop. You don't tell an adult who is addicted to drinking or smoking to stop. You help them to stop. There are stages and processes you follow to help them stop or to help yourself stop. So if you find yourself in that situation where you think, too much use of the internet, and not necessarily until you get to that stage, if you see that you're on the path to becoming addicted to the internet, you can put practical measures in place. Something you can easily do is to find a replacement. Young people oftentimes start getting addicted to the internet when they do not have other things to spend their time on. So as a parent, pull them out of those lonely or those quiet times that forces them online. Go out, physical activities, movies, walks, things that interest them, football, whatever. But what I'm saying basically is don't just say stop, because it's not easy to stop. Put systems in place to stop or to help them stop.